I want these guys to understand this here, not just you. 1,500. That's the critical thing to understand. So if the big square is 1,000, what's the distance on this small square? 100. Yeah, spot on. 100 meters. Dead simple. So I'm happy that you guys know how to read the grid references. It's dead simple stuff. So next, bearings. Hang on a sec, Rocky. Are you breathing into your mic a bit there? I can hear you breathing. Kind of. So, who are you? Me? No, there's somebody stood behind you.
I'm guessing this is Smith.
Yeah.
Smith.
I was just wondering where I get my load out.
Before you do that, might need you to sort your name out in game because I didn't know who you are.
Ah, how do I do that?
So if you go back to the main menu of the game, in the top right-hand corner, you should see a little icon like a profile icon. Click on that, make a profile, and you can set your name there.
Okay.
Yeah. Rocky, what are you doing?
You called on
What?
Channel switched. Channel switched.
Cool. Right, come with me.
Sorry, I'm late.
No, it's alright. I'll with you. I'll catch you up, and then we should be able to go on from there. Scroll on this laptop and grab the recruit training kit, please. Awesome. And then press 0 to stick it on your back. There you go. Have you played much armor before?
I've played a little bit briefly, but not massively.
Okay, that's alright. So it's just so I know how detailed to do this, just so I can catch you up. Right, so come with me. Okay, I'm just going to close that door so we don't hear them. Okay, so, can you see the screen?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. So, right, so have you used Tactical Arrowhead Radio before?
No.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is press left control and P, and you should see a radio pop up.
Yep.
What I want you to do is highlight the text in the green box and type in 30, and then press the ENT enter button on the actual radio, and you should hear a click.
Done.
Okay, then close the radio by pressing escape. Got that?
Yep.
What I'd like you to do is, there's a script here. It says radio checks. So what I'd like you to do is, in fact, sorry, I need to mess you around a bit. Open up the radio and change it to 3-1. Sorry about that. Just change that over. Let me know when you've done that.
Done.
Okay, so I'm going to just do a quick example. So it'll sound something like this. Hello, this is Scott. Radio check frequency 3-1. Over. Hello, Scott. Radio check. Okay. Over. And then radio check. Okay. Out. So if you've just spawned in your kit and you need to set up your radios, first thing you need to do is do a radio check. That's basically calling the people on the radio already to see if your radio is working correctly and if you've actually put yourself on the correct frequency.
Is that
So
caps lock to activate it?
Correct, yes. So I'd like you to read out the first line and then I'll reply to you and then you'll read the last line.
Hello, this is John. Radio check 3-1, over.
Hello, John. Radio check. Okay, over.
Radio check out.
Oh, so you'll reply with how I sounded to you. So when I tell you okay,
Radio check 5, over.
okay, one sec. So when I say radio check okay to you, that's me saying that your radio check sounds okay. It means that it's I can hear you good. Meaning you're not staticky, you're not out of range, there's no mountains in the way. Your voice is clear. And then you'll reply with how I sounded to you. So if I sounded clear and not staticky, then I'll also say okay to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so basically just saying good.
Yeah, essentially
Okay.
that's what that is. Because I can sound clear to you, but then you might not sound very clear to me.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so these words at the bottom is what you'd say. They'd say, okay, so you're clearly understood. Unworkable, meaning that there's bits cut out or it's really, really hard to hear all of it. And then nothing heard essentially means that you can't hear any words at all. It's just noise. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So just so you're aware, these procedures that we follow is mostly used on the long-range radios. So radios that I have on my back. People who have these radios are all the commanders, essentially. So because it's a lot of important information going on those channels, it's important that we're nice and accurate and disciplined on it. because we don't want to be talking a load of rubbish over it. But for you as a Marine, don't stress too much about rigidly following these procedures. It's a bit more relaxed on the short range radios.
Sounds good.
Okay. So the next thing I want to show you is a pretty important bit of procedure that we follow, which is the actions on icy down. So this is like the sun ray down drill, is what we call it. So if your section commander and your section 2IC both go down, this is when you'll follow this procedure. So the first thing you need to do is you need to deal with the problem. So that can be in the form of winning the firefight. Then you need to find the body or bodies of whoever have the long range radios, and you need to pick it up off their body. So the way this radio works is it is literally a backpack that you pick up and you'll be able to start using it. Then you press left Alt and P to edit the long range radio. So left Control P for the short range, left Alt and P for the long range. Make sure that frequency is correct. That slide is out of date, so ignore that frequency on there, but it should be 40.5. And then walk on the long range, control the catch lock. At which point you'll say, this is whatever your name is, sun ray down, please advise, over.
Okay.
And that is you basically handing the problem over to somebody above you, above your pay grade, and making them deal with it and help you out.
So
And it also lets them know. Go on.
Just for clarification, it's 40.2.
40.5.
Okay, 0.5. Thank you.
Okay. And then wait for them to talk you through it, and then resort to your battlefield casualty drills, which you'll be taught later. Happy with that?
Sounds good.
Awesome. Right, that's all the radio stuff done. So, what I want you to do is stand up, and we're going to walk outside. Okay, so we're just going to do some basic map stuff. So, can you open your map, and then you'll see a bunch of markers and stuff all over the map.
Yeah, see.
Okay, so can you see my yellow laser? To be a yellow point flying around the map.
Yeah.
So that happens whenever anybody left clicks on the map. But you can only people that are near you can see it.
I'm guessing we're at the classrooms at the moment.
Yeah, we are, yes. So, do you understand grid references?
I'm not as good at them as I used to be, but yeah, I've done a bit of stuff with that.
That's okay, we're going to go over it right now. So, I'm going to draw a black box around a grid square. So, can you tell me the 4-figure grid reference for that box?
So, that one. 3, 4, 9, 6.
Not quite. So, the way we do grid references is, so if you scroll out, so you can only see lines that about the size that I've done that black box.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way we do grid references is, whatever box you're interested in, you look in the bottom left-hand corner.
Okay.
And that's where those lines cross is the grid reference you're interested in. So this line is 03, and this line is 95.
So the 4-figure be 0395.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. So if I wanted the grid reference for this box here, what would it be?
0496.
Spot on. There you go. And that is a 4-figure grid reference.
And
So if
then
you zoom in, you should see these big boxes turn into lots of little boxes.
so
So
then
I'm just going to
is
draw. I'm just going to draw a
6
square around a little box. So if you can give me the 6-figure grid reference.
034956.
There you go. Spot on. Did you have a question?
No.
Awesome. So, another thing, do you know how big these boxes are? So if I've drawn that line there, how long do you reckon that line is? Sort of on the ground.
10 kilometers.
Nearly, but not. So, the 4-figure grid boxes are 1 kilometre.
Okay.
So 1,000 metres. So, if the big boxes are 1,000, what do you reckon the 6-figure grid reference boxes are? Well, how big do you reckon they are?
100.
100. There you go, spot on. Oh, right. So, are you happy with all that information?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. So, now that I've done that, close your map and look around this area here. We're now going to go over bearings. So, I'm quite particular about how I like people to do their bearings, and I will give you an example of how I like to do them now. The thing I'm interested in, I will look at it, and then I will look to the bottom middle of my screen, and I will see a compass and a number above it. That is the bearing of whatever I'm looking at. So that white van there is that bearing 026 from my position.
Okay.
So what I've done there is I've read the number out, but one number at a time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Cool. Right, so if I wanted you to give me the bearing of yourself to that crate there, what would it be?
075.
There you go, spot on. Yeah, that's basically it. Any questions on any of that?
No.
Awesome. Right. You're now all caught up, and you can now join everyone else.
Well, do you want me to go for the medical stuff and defense movement? Or,
Yes.
right.
I will take them initially.
Yep, thank you. Hello, folks. Oh,
Hey, brother.
Hiya.
right up in this way. Don't worry about the others.
Right, Smith goes Rees, everyone else come with me.
Righto. Righto. So you can hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. If you look at the table, you'll see a bunch of medical stuff. I'll just quickly ask you, do you know how the medical menu works?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so the medical menu, you have the limbs, and then you have the options to treat it with.
Yeah.
Alright, good. Then the next bit is basically what you want to do when you see someone that goes down or gets hurt. Alright? First thing you want to do is you want to alert on the radio to your section commander or just generally your section,
Yep.
man down. If you just say man down once or twice, everyone will know someone's gone man down and then they're in the situation. Then the next bit is eliminate. So before you attempt to put someone down, you want to eliminate the enemy. Third bit is evacuate. So after you eliminate the enemy, you want to move the patient away from the hostile zone, so able to safely pick them up, which is important.
How do I actually pick someone up?
Pick something up. Do you mean someone?
That's why
Yeah, someone. What's the...
They'll be holding down ace interactions and then carry or drag.
blank crowns,
Okay.
you'll have a BFA
That's the way to
or
pick someone up.
because not only does it stop
then,
live rounds from coming at the end of it,
quickly
also
go over
shows
with
that
the
weapon isn't only
casualties,
live
right?
ammunition.
So there is a tiering system with how casualties are rated, right, with how severe they are.
Them that, okay, it's not as dangerous.
It goes from tier 1 to 4. I'll just go over it with you quickly, say if you have any questions. Tier 1 is unconscious, right? So that's someone who's gone unconscious, but you can still treat them. Well, you have to treat them. Tier 2 is they're conscious, but severely injured, so you probably can't walk, you probably can't shoot correctly, and you really need someone to treat you now, but you're still conscious, right? You can still walk.
Sounds
Tier
good.
3 is you're injured, but you're still able to be combat effective. So you can still move around, you can still shoot. Yeah, that's basically what tier 3 is.
And tier 4 is a KO.
Yep. Tier 4 is deceased or not a priority because you can't actually save them, right? So they might not be dead, but they're going to be dead very soon. There's nothing you can do to retrieve them. Make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Focus shock one is basic damage. It is, as it says, basic. It doesn't really do anything very well. It's only really good for small wounds because you don't want to waste the other munitions on it. So that's like a small con, right?
Yeah.
Next one is cutting bandage. They're typically used for most of the wounds you see, so that's a very good system. There's only 2 of them that you're going to be using in combat. So if you want to know that, you can quick drops are basically
Shoving it in a bullet hole.
quick drops. There's only like one thing they're used on: lacerations. It's just clots of blood up really fast. So if something that's like fast bleeding but small, that's what it's used on.
Yeah.
But yeah, they typically hold them for longer as well, so they don't go undone as fast. Fourth one is the elastic bandage. They're used on freshness, stuff that you see when they're burning or that's what you the morphine is used to
Extreme pain.
yeah, so if they're in severe pain is anytime you actually use it. You have to watch out for their heart rate though when you use it, because if the heart rate's too low, you use the morphine, they'll just die, they'll overdose. Right. But there's one. A splint is so on the medical menu you'll see like a bone that's red and it looks kind of fractured, right? If you pop a splint on a fractured limb, it will just hold it together and you're still able to perform the same as you were doing before. Make sense?
Yeah, sounds good.
Right, good. The one after that is a tourniquet. Tourniquets are used on limbs. Specifically as limbs, you can't use it on torso or head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should kill someone if you do that.
Yeah. But yeah, no, only really use it on a limb that's too heavily injured to actually bandage effectively or fast enough, right? So if it's a limb with like 2 wounds, you're typically able to bandage it faster than you can tourniquet it.
Sounds good.
Right, good. Then there is advanced movement, because that should be all of the medical shit there. So do you know what advanced movement is?
Sorry?
Advanced movement.
No, not in this game.
Right. If you go to escape, configure, and controls, then you should have show colon and then probably common. If you press on common, then you should have a drop down menu. Right?
What am I looking for, sir?
If you're on your controls,
Yeah.
then there should be show and then common at the top bit of it, right below keyboard, mouse, and controller.
Oh, and then is it infantry movement?
No, custom controls.
Okay,
Right.
yeah.
Then it's use action 1, and then you can set that to a button that you'll be using to bolt. That would be typically, you could use space, Control V. I use Control 1. Problem with Control V is you need to remove the actual vault bind, which I do not know where is. So, if you want to be safe about it, you can set it to control 1 or space, and then
I've
you'll be able to use
searched
it.
control 1.
Right, good. Then you press OK, so it saves in. And then you can test it out under small wall here. Yep, just press control 1 on the wall.
User disconnected from your channel.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you probably didn't save it. You gotta press OK, otherwise it doesn't save.
As part of the future Commando Force, a lot of British Special Forces are using this weapon now, as it's
User joined your channel.
and quite cheap as well.
You good?
Done.
Very similar to the
Yep, there you go, mate. You can go join the others now.
slightly shorter range.
You can now hop on and see the others, because that's now done.
11503. A very nice and beautiful sniper rifle. It uses a 338 Magnum round. Has a maximum service range of about 2.5 kilometers. It's only used by those in the reconnaissance section. At the moment, that is closed, as we need enough people in the normal sections to justify opening it.
Can you also call it AVP?
I don't think this one counts as the AUG. I think it's the L96 that's the AUG. This one is the...
You're building your shadow on a British one. Damn it.
What have I missed?
Yeah, this is a different one.
Yeah, I'll go over what you've missed in a sec, Smith.
Okay.
So, if you guys want to scoot down a bit so you can see these weapons over here. So in the corner we have the L131A1. This is a 9mm sidearm, has a maximum range of about 50 meters, and the only occasion you should really use this is if you've either run out of ammunition in your primary, or your primary is not suited to what you're currently doing. For example, if you're a GPMD, you can't take that clearing a house, as the weapon is physically too fucking big to fit through some doors. So that's when the last one is the IMO, or the Improved Light Impact Weapon. This is a 84mm fire and forget gunfire rocket. Two variants. The HEDP, which is high explosive dual purpose, which is best against light vehicles and infantry. And we have the HP, which is high penetration, which is best against light armored vehicles. Maximum range of about 300 meters. Any questions on any of these weapons shown?
No.
No, cool. In that case, can one of you go over the safety things that we put in place to catch Smith up with what is missed?
I'll go over it. Basically, with your firearm, whenever you're base, you do a firearm as a blank fire adapter. Also, you try to have your weapon on safety at all times, and also actually on your back. Whenever you go into your inventory, try to look down. So you can look at your weapon, close your friendlies, and don't miss fire by accident. And same goes with. Same goes with pulling your weapon out. You look on the floor, pull your weapon out, very tap control, and you can look up for your fires and point out your friendlies.
Yeah, good. Cool. Any questions on that, Smith?
Nope.
No. Cool. Reese, could you take them through fire rates whilst I finish up setting up the formations?
It's still the range thing there, yeah?
Yeah, range is still there.
Right, okay, we'll go over there then.
I'll give you some blank fire.
Righto. Yeah, we just go through this door, yeah? And just go straight with me.
Bit dark out there.
Yeah, they're doing night training, so we should be living with tonight.
Then when we can use them.
Yeah, I think it's still too much to use them, so use it as
I'm gonna bite in the higher.
use it as your risk now. Righto. Try to hit some And you can just stand and look at this white border. Do stand still, obviously. Right. So what we're going over is the fire control orders. So this is something that you'll probably hear from a section IC when you're taking contact, right? They'll say, I'm just going to give an example here. They'll just say section rapid fire northeast, which means they want you to shoot northeast at a certain rate, which is the rate they go over now. First one, which is rapid fire, you'll be shooting 1 round every 2 seconds. Right, which adds up to 30 rounds per minute. It's used to quickly suppress an enemy, so you can gain your fire superiority. Yeah, gets their heads down. You have all the time that you need during this to set up either attacking conditions or set up a section attack, which you'll be able to set later on as well. Second one, deliberate fire. Sorry, what was that? Yeah. Next one is deliberate fire. This is typically your second commando here after using rapid fire. Deliberate fire is a 1 round every 6 seconds, so you'll be using a third of the ammunition as you're doing before. Any idea why you'll be doing this? If one of you want to tune in?
So that you're not wasting ammunition shooting at targets that possibly aren't there.
Yep, this is part of it. Right. No one wants anything? Yeah, this is part of it. It's to not waste too much more ammunition on the enemy. Needlessly, this is, but you still want to continue to suppress them. So still want to keep them their heads somewhat down, but it also does allow them a little bit of a chance to raise their head up, which you'll probably be using to take them out, right? Because you've gained the superiority. Any questions with that one?
Nope.
Right, good. Third one is watch and shoot. Watch and shoot means there's no set fire rate, so that is you only shoot when the enemy is up. Right. So if you see an enemy stand up out of cover, you're allowed to shoot them with the pace that you want to. Right. Do keep it at single. Like you don't want to be going full automatic at them because you're probably out of distance. Right. So you can shoot 1 round every 2 seconds or 1 round every 1 second, as long as you get them either down or you kill them. That's all you do with the watch and shoot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. Quickly go through with this. Any of these fire rates, if you see an enemy during a rapid fire or deliberate fire order, you can shoot down an enemy and negating the fire order, right? Because it's better to kill the enemy than it is to follow the suppression order, because this is what it's about, is suppressing. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. Yep.
Right, good. This is only for Rifleman, so if you give it a GPMG or a marksman roll, your orders will be a bit different. So that's just something to take in mind. You'll go over it with probably a section commando, or if you're going GPMG during the GPMG course. Right. Yeah. So if you can see here, we have good old range, and I believe this is a box with blank ammo. Yep, it is. If all of you can just grab 5 or 6 mags from this little box here. Hello, Scott.
How do I take them individually?
You just go into the inventory and you drag it from the box, so it's the left side, into one of your either bag or your vest.
You can drag or right click if you want.
Yeah, you can do that too.
I'm gonna eat food.
Okay.
Right, have you got your mags?
Yep. Just taking a bit.
Yeah.
Yep. Right, if you the mags, you can all line up on one of the pads here. Keep one individually. Right, good. Smith, you can go further on the pad. I'll be walk behind you.
There's a pro module in the center.
How do I change from my CSAT to the red dot?
That would be control right click. That changes what sight you're using.
Thank
How do I
you.
turn off my safety again?
Control and
Tilde,
pylon, yeah, tilde.
the one next to the
Yeah.
number 1. That'll put your safety on and off.
Yep.
Right, good. So if you all will lie down on the ground. Yep, all prone down.
Yep.
Right, good. Just all of you switch off of safety.
What's the key, sorry?
Control tilde. Tilde is the button next to 1.
User disconnected from your
Yeah, there you
channel.
go. If it's on safety, you'll see the top right. If it's off safety, you'll also see the top right. Right, good.
Have you all got earplugs in?
Nope.
I will in a sec.
Yeah.
So the way you
earplugs-
put earplugs in is you self-interact on these. So left control and Windows key. Your left control Windows key. What are you doing? Smith, you alright?
Yeah, they're in. Had a bit of a mistake.
Right, is all in?
Yeah, all in.
Right, good. Ensure you got mags in your guns, and then should all be ready to fire. Yeah?
Yep.
Right, good. I'll be giving you guys some orders. Try and follow them if you can. Are you ready to start?
Mm-hmm.
Right, good. Section, rapid fire, southwest. Section stop. Sorry, I told you this, Smith, that we will be, you're okay to shoot enemies when you see them, but now just keeping up the fire rate. Alright?
So remember, rapid fire is 1 over 2. You shouldn't be doing mag dumping. You're gonna just waste all your ammo. 1 every 2 is 1. 1. 1. 1. That make sense?
Alright, put your mags in, make sure that you got your mag in, and then we should be ready to go. You right there? Alright, if you're ready then, section rapid fire southwest.
User disconnected from your channel.
Section rapid fire southwest.
User joined your channel.
Section stop.
Yeah.
Can you count to 6?
Yes, I can.
So how long is 6 seconds?
Not quite as long. I was going for about 4 per shot.
It's very quick 4 seconds that I noticed.
Oops.
It's okay. I'm not here to tell people off. It's just the main reason why we stick to these is because if you have engagements minutes at a time and you guys are burning through all your ammunition, if
User
you're
left
out
your
of ammo,
channel.
you're fucking useless. You're not going to be able to not going to be any use to your section commanders.
Fair enough.
Don't waste your ammo. That's the main thing.
Yeah, try and keep it to the head counting every 6 seconds you shoot, or if you follow along with one other person shooting, that also times it quite well, because typically, if everyone's timing up, then it should be right. Alright?
Sounds good.
Alright, we'll just start it from delivered fire, and then go down again. Right, good? Everyone ready?
Oh.
Now it's fair enough, mate, go grab second
Yeah.
Mega 2. Alright, good. Take take your circles up and section deliberate fire, southwest.
There we go. That's much better.
Section, watch, shoot.
Yep, so watch and shoot, there's the same thing as before. You only need to like chuck a couple rounds into them if they stick their head up. But other than that, no real complaints.
No.
I guess that's that bit done. Feel free to put your safeties on, stick your weapons on your back and stand up. Cool, right, so what we're going to do next is we're just going to do a quick walk around of some of the formations that we use. And we're just going to talk about them, what's good about them, what's not so good about them, and when we might use them. Stuff like that. Come with me. So, in fact, we'll do this one over here. Okay, so can everyone see this nice long conga line?
Yeah.
That's not the name of the formation. Can anybody guess what this one's name is?
Column or file.
So the Americans call it a column, and as I mentioned before, we all know how we feel about the Americans. We call this a file or a single file because it is, as described, a single file. So, can you guys think of any advantages or disadvantages of using this formation? Bearing in mind that we wouldn't actually use these spacings, we'd be much farther
User
apart.
left your channel.
When advancing and tabbing over a hill.
User
One
joined
What was
your
that,
channel.
Smith, sorry?
machine gun.
When tabbing over a hill, to make
Yep.
sure you're not seeing your tab blade, we're trying in a file formation.
Okay, so I'll pick out the bit that I think you're trying to get at. Is you've got a small profile to the front. Is that what
Basically,
you're trying to say? Yeah. So you're only one guy wide from the front. Is basically what we're trying to get at here. So if you're walking towards an enemy location and they're looking at you, they can only see one guy in front of them technically. Yep. Good.
Vulnerable to machine gun, I think. Like
Okay.
machine gun.
Can you elaborate a bit on that?
Like if they spray or the air they actually can get shot, you know.
User left your channel.
Okay.
User
And,
joined your
if
channel.
you're standing in front here, then you.
Okay. You're half right there.
It's got bad fight protection to the front, has only technically one man to shoot.
Okay, that's a different point. I'll get to that in a sec. So, let's go over what Rocky just said. So, from the front, like I mentioned before, you can only really shoot one guy from the front. So, from the front, small profile, meaning that only one guy's really in danger from the front. But, what do you think the story will be from the sides? So the sides, they do have a lot of firepower, that's a good point, but from the side you can see every single person, can't you? From the sides, you've got a huge profile, so it's very easily spotted. So what I'm trying to get at here is you've got a big profile to the side, but you've got a lot of firepower to the sides as well. From the front, you've got a low profile, really small profile, but you've only got one guy that can spot and shoot people. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
We'd mainly use this formation. We use this 90% of the time when we're going from point A to point B. So if we're going along rendezvous points, chances are we'll use the file formation. Everyone happy with that? Yeah. Cool. Now that we've gone through that, I just want to quickly break down the order of march that we might use. So, section is typically made up of around 8 people. Those 8 people are split up into 2 fire teams. We have Charlie fire team and Delta fire team. If you all open your maps, I'm going to do some markers on the map to demonstrate this. Can everyone see these markers that I'm putting on the map?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Oh, I'm doing the wrong fucking colours. Stand by. There we go. Okay, so you'll notice that most people are either red or blue. What do you reckon the green and the yellow people are?
Green is section commander, yellow is corporal.
Not quite. You're close.
Other way
So,
around.
yellow will be your section commander, who is usually the full screw corporal, and then green is your section second in command. So that'll be your lance corporal, or whoever's acting as your second in command. So, first guy in the section will be your point man. This guy's job is to navigate from to basically walk the section from the front, from point A to point B. Other jobs they might have is they'll be the first man through a door if they're breaching. They'll also have a mine detector on them and some wire cutters if they need to get through a wire fence or if they need to do some mine sweeping. Second guy is your IC. Self-explanatory, that's what me and Reese are. We command the section, and we'll also be some of the first people through the door in a breach. Next, as Rifleman, no real special assignments there. They might be asked to carry some extra supplies or some very mission-critical supplies as they might have come through space. And then, lastly, in this fire team, we have the Rifleman AT. So this group here is Charlie fire team. And the next down, we have Delta fire team. So first one there, we have the marksman. Self-explanatory, they carry the marksman rifle and they pick people off. Next, we have the 2IC, second in command, so the lance corporal. Their main job is to micromanage the section. So if the section commander wants something done, the second in command will make sure that each individual man is doing what they're supposed to do. In the sense of, if you want a certain formation or a certain task to be carried out, the second in command will go around each individual person and tell them exactly what to do. Next, we have the medic, self-explanatory, medic. Then lastly, we have the GPMG, or the General Purpose Machine Gunner. They carry the GPMG weapon and make up half the firepower of the section.
Do we have any spotters?
Well, everybody's a spotter if you think about it. You've all got binoculars. What role do you think a spotter plays? Well, in your mind, what role does a spotter do?
To relay target information to the marksman, including identification of locations, blah blah blah.
So, the section commander and the section 2IC both carry a SOFLAM. That's what I'm holding now. So that is the it's got thermals, it's got laser designator and rangefinder on it as well. So we kind of dual role in that sense. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Cool. Any questions on any of those roles that I've put down in the section?
Nope.
Cool. Okay, so your Shack Tac HUD in the bottom middle of your screen, you can change the colour of it. Smith, do you know how to join up on people's groups?
I did it once a long time ago.
Walk up to Rocky interact on him. So press left left Windows, and then join his group.
User left your channel. User joined your channel.
Joined.
There you go. You can see everybody's name now in the bottom middle of your screen. So, if you self-interact, that's left control on Windows, go to Team Management, you can set yourselves colours. So, as you can see, we like to simplify things, and everybody in a section will set themselves a colour based on their role. So, Section Commander will set them as gold, 2IC will
User
be
left
green,
your channel.
so on and so
User
forth,
joined your channel.
based on those colours that I've just put on the map. That all make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. So, now that we're all happy with the structure of a section, we'll crack on with these formations, and then we'll get you shooting some more stuff. Right, so follow me around here. This is another formation. Nobody guess what this one's called.
Staggered fight.
Milo. Come on. You've got to let the other people have a go.
No, I'm sorry.
I know you know it. So, staggered file. Yeah. When might you use this?
We're moving through a field
Through
or very level terrain.
urban area, like a road where we have
Roads?
buildings on both sides.
Yep. So, I probably wouldn't use this in a field myself. I'd probably use this, as Hiride said, I'd use it in an urban area or along a road. Because through the middle of this, you can have either side along a road, and you can have cars and whatever gubbins go through the middle of it. As well as people often put mines on a road, and I'd rather not have us step on those mines. In addition to this, if you're in an urban area like a town or a city, and you're in this formation, each person should hopefully have a wall or a building next to them that they can use as cover. So the people on this side have a wall or a building that they can dive into on the left, meaning that if they get contact from the right, they can either dive into over here and deal with it, as well as with contact from the right, these guys on this side are all safe. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So, advantages and disadvantages then, folks. What can we think of? What advantages can we think of?
It gives good coverage, like very
Yeah.
tight angle coverage.
Yeah, good. So you've got good eyes and good firepower to the left and right.
Disadvantage I can see
User
is
disconnected from your channel.
easier to be picked off from MG fire, if on a road, for example.
I mean, you could say that for all of
User
these
joined your
formations, to be
channel.
honest.
Yes, sir.
Because they're all, just people stood in a field at the moment. But speaking on that, what do you guys think about the profile of this formation? Like we
Large and
talked about
spread
in
out.
the last one. What was that? Sorry.
Large, spread out, and potentially easier to see everyone in the group than in a stagger.
So
Or,
same
yeah.
issue with this one as the single file is that you've got a big profile to the left and right, meaning every single man can be seen from the side. As well as you've gone from one man at the front to now two men on the front. So your profile's doubled from the front, right? But at the same time, so is your firepower. You now have two guns facing forwards, as opposed to just one gun, which is more ideal.
Yep.
Right. Can we think about any other points about this formation?
Easy to come in, like it's easy for others to come in your line of fire. Because
What do you mean?
let's say the second person on the right file,
Yep.
sees the contact on the other side, and the ones on the left side cannot see the contact, and the guy on the right who has seen it has to look past his deployment
Okay. Oh, I see what you mean. So, say we is the enemy, and this guy here, yeah. 5 more meaning Reese, you stand somewhere over there. So enemies there, this guy stood here, that friendly's in the way.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say? Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, that's quite a rare one. Every time I've used this, I've not really had that problem, but it's good to be sort of critical about some of these formations. Yeah, so that's basically it about the formation. I'd use it usually on a road, and yeah, good firepower, good eyes to the sides, and more firepower, more eyes to the front of the rear, as opposed to single fire. Yeah. Cool. Right, come with me. Next one. So, this one is exactly like the single file, but just rotated 90 degrees. So, travel direction will be that way. What do you reckon it's called?
Line formation.
Battle
Okay.
line, bro.
We don't call it a battle line in the British military.
Call
We
it a
call this
line.
a baseline. So, baseline is just exactly as seen here. You'd mainly use it. What are you doing?
I don't know, bro.
So, we'd mainly use this to sweep an area. I wouldn't really use this to attack anywhere because it's very limited field of view to the sides. Because if you wanted to look to your left and on this side, all you'd see is your mate. So, I'd use this to sweep an area, not necessarily engaging. It's also quite hard to control the outer areas as well. So if your commander's in the middle, some people can lag behind or move too far forward, and it's quite hard to maintain that nice straight line. And you can't really hard to turn with it as well. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So, based on what we've discussed about the last formations, what advantages and disadvantages can we think of?
You pointed out.
Limited field of view.
Yep. So, in what direction?
To the lefts and rights.
Yep, spot on. Perfect.
Less
What else?
maneuverability in an urban area.
Yep, good.
Has a large profile to the front, but a small profile to the sides.
There you go, that's what I was after. Well done. What else?
Could an advantage be that it's easier potentially to then break contact and go into RTR?
Yes.
Depending
I
on
see
direction.
what. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, that would work if you're in contact from the front. However, if you take contact from the side, it would be quite hard to get yourself in a advantageous position from here, because you have guys all the way back there if you're taking contact from over here. But yes, I see where your head's at, and we'll get to that in a sec. So, just one thing to mention, yeah, good eyes, but you've also got good firepower as well to the front. It's also really easy to just everyone turn around on the spot and move in the sort of opposite direction without really disturbing the formation, which is why it's really good for sweeping an area if you're searching something. Right, cool, that's that done. Next, we have this formation over here. Now, Milo, I think you'll know this one, but if any of you say the American name of this formation, I will send you to Brazil. What do you reckon this
The
formation
V
should be?
formation.
Blitzkrieg line.
The Blitzkrieg line.
Yeah. I don't know. Line.
Nearly.
Yeah.
Nearly the Blitzkrieg line, but not. What do we think it's called?
V
I know the code for
formation.
this, but I'm scared if it's working.
Ain't V reverse, so it's like it can be facing the other way. It's not V. I think.
So,
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
Battle line. Battle
What?
formation.
what weapon do you think this looks like?
A spear or arrow.
Oh, arrow.
Arrowhead.
There you go.
Yeah.
You've gone from saying the exact wrong name to the exact correct name. Well done.
As in American say, wags.
Oh, fuck
Yeah.
you. No, you've said it, Milo. I'm sending you to Brazil.
No, I was gonna say it, like, fucking.
No,
Calm
Milo's going to
down.
Brazil.
He didn't get through basic training.
There you go,
Oh,
Milo's
there
in
you
Brazil.
Didn't get through basic training, bro. Oi, oi, oi.
Oh, there he is.
Britannia.
There you
Very
go.
dark.
User left your channel. User joined your channel.
Brazil.
Britannia.
Right, so, let's go through the usual stuff. Arrowhead, I'd mainly use this to attack places, because you've got everyone looking both to the front, and if you take contact from the left or the right, you can have people easily look left and right to deal with it. So the people on the right can turn right and not see any friendlies and still shoot them. Same with the people on the left. Oh, right, so usual checklist, advantages and disadvantages then.
Field of view.
Yep.
Almost 280. No.
Yep.
Disadvantage, section commander could potentially have to do far more organisation constantly to maintain the battle order than,
Yep.
for example, in a file.
Spot on. It's really, really hard to control. And I know because I've tried to do this formation a fair few times, and it's really hard to maintain both the order of march and make sure everybody's in the right position. Yeah, good.
It also kind of cuts down your firepower by half on your flanks because you have only one side per flank.
Yeah, that's fair. However, just sort of like a counterpoint to that, if you're expecting enemy from the front, having half the section able to contact left and right is better than just one, like with the baseline.
Yeah.
Yep, so good thinking. But we're hoping, it's sort of like a hoping it doesn't happen sort of situation. So, yep, good. What else can you think of? Or is that it?
If you're contacted from the rear, it's easy to turn around and return fire.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, I was also difficult though in this formation.
Well, like I mentioned, you'd hopefully use this to attack a position, so you're probably expecting contact at this point. So RTR is mainly used when you're not expecting contact. But yeah, good. So, yeah, one thing to note, profile. It is fucking huge from basically all directions. Because you've got 4 or 5 guys from the sides and the whole section from the front and rear, which is probably the biggest profile of any of the formations we've had. So, one thing to note as well, sort of last thing before we move on, is it's really easy to maneuver this formation into a different formation as well. So you can easily put this into a baseline, or a single file, or a staggered file, or anything like that. It's a nice middle ground. But again, I wouldn't use this for very long if I was going to have anybody in this formation. All happy with that?
Yep.
Lovely. Right, next one. Okay, so this is a static formation. Does anybody know what it's called? Not quite, no.
I used to and then I forgot.
Well, that's not helpful.
Same. Maginot Line.
No, not quite. So, this is called a herringbone. Herringbone, because it's shaped like a fucking herringbone. I don't know how else to describe it. So, like I said, this is static. You would never use this whilst on the move. This is when everybody is sat resting, either catching their breath or eating and drinking. In the occasion that you do need to eat and drink, you'll always do this in pairs. So one person eats and drinks, one person watches out, then you swap. Because if everybody sat and eats and drinks at the same time, you have nobody ready with their weapon in case you get contacted. So, based on the information that I've just given you about this formation, when might you use it?
When you're setting up an LOP.
Yep.
I'm setting up a FOB, HAB, I don't know what to call it. FOB.
Maybe not, because you're not really controlling much area with this. It's very much, it's very small, isn't it?
I was
Very
thinking
compact.
of a squad game, you know, squad.
User
You're
left your
thinking
channel.
of a fictional shooter game.
User joined your channel.
Yeah,
Interesting.
not
So,
really
what about profile?
very low profile.
Very low
Small
profile.
profile for this time to decently laugh at every time.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
As it's
it's
standing crouched.
yeah, it is quite compact though, isn't it, compared to the spacings that you'd expect from the other formations, isn't it? So I see what you, I see matching creeping up on us behind me. I see matching. Matching, can I help you? Okay. Is what I wouldn't use this for ambush because you're not very spread out.
No, I mean, kid.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean. So, because everyone's sat, idle, not moving, and resting, essentially, there is a chance that you can get contacted and people will be not ready for it. Because you've got resting soldiers, they may not be aware of their surroundings entirely. Yeah, good. Yeah, go for it. Very good question. Yes, we do. Because if we're all sat resting, we want to make sure that we're all close enough that we can look after each other. In the sense that, like I mentioned with the pair rule of one person eats or drinks or rests whilst the other one watches out, then everybody's together and makes that easy. As well as, if you're using the formation, say, before you attack an area, so you've just finished your patrol, you're all tired, you're all sitting for a sec, catching your breath, everybody's sat together, you can really easily talk to each other, just locally, without having to use any radio. Does that make sense? Herringbone. Okay. You're happy with that? Cool. Right, let's move on to the last formation. Okay. What do we reckon this one's called?
I don't know what it's called if I know what it's for.
Yep, that's a good start.
So you could 360.
It's not called a 360, but the name is related to that.
All around view.
Oh, very close.
Fucking close, mate.
Very fucking close. It's called an all-round defense. So, really self-explanatory, dead simple. All-round defense means that all directions have eyes and guns in a direction. So, obviously, you'd ideally have people nicely spread out, so, you know, not everyone gets fucked over by a single grenade. One thing I forgot to mention with the herringbone formation, one grenade and half the section's going to get fucked. Aren't they?
Yeah.
Plus shrapnel is probably more than half.
Well, that's probably best case scenario then. Anyway, so, all-round defense, ARD is what's usually abbreviated to, so that's a nice acronym, ARD. That's probably also one of the most common formations we'll get people in. It's also static, so you'd never use this whilst on the move. When might you use this then?
Say got dropped off by a the helicopter, and you
Yep.
form a formation to face off.
Yep. Spot on. So we use
When
this
you take a
formation.
base,
Hold on a sec. So we use this formation when we dismount from a vehicle. So if it's from a helicopter, we'll jump out, we'll form an all-round defence, protecting both the helicopter and our location until it's either step-off time or until we're certain that the area is clear of any enemies. Okay. What were you going to say for the day?
I was going to say when you finish taking an enemy contact, you need to regroup and assess.
Okay. Yeah, not bad. So if we're sort of, I'll try and interpret what you were saying in the sense that if you're trying to protect an area that you're in. Yeah. Good. So as opposed to the herringbone, when you're not necessarily wanting to protect an area, you're just wanting to protect yourselves, you use an ARB. So your own. So
Yep.
in this formation, I would use it probably after I've attacked the location. So if we've attacked an enemy position, we'll go and sweep it clear, make sure there's nobody left alive, and pick up any intelligence, that kind of stuff. We'll then move away from it and form an all-round defence. In which case, we'll make sure there's no QRS, as well as we'll have the 2 IC go around and make sure everybody's okay on supplies and medical and all that stuff, which we'll cover later. When else might we use this?
Difficulty.
Yeah, so we've mentioned that about dismounting from a helicopter or dismounting from a vehicle. What's the opposite of dismounting? There you go. We probably use this to protect helicopter landing sites. So if a helicopter needed to land in a probably hostile area, we might defend that area using an ARD. Making sure that that helicopter isn't going to have an RPG for its window or a sniper round for its cockpit. Or at least we can try and reduce the risk of that. What else do you think we might use this for? And I'll draw emphasis to the fact that the middle of this formation is probably the safest place to be.
When
I see
protecting
a
a
second I
VIP or waiting for an asset to be dropped off.
There you go. Good stuff. So protecting something in the middle. So that can be your IC, it can be a troop commander, it can be a captured person, or it can even be supplies of some kind. Good. Right, advantages and disadvantages of folks. What can we think of?
It's for a skilled marksman easy to sneak up on. It is in the right environment.
Well, I see what you mean. I'll try and I'll relate that to the point that I have written down in the sense that you can have the issue of if you're in an area like this, like in the middle of the field, some people can have cover, other people can have fuck all. So say the people to our immediate south, they might have those trees that they can go into and use as cover. Whereas the people to the north might not have any trees or bushes at all to use. Meaning that yes, they could potentially be more exposed to potential enemy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, let's try. I'll give you a hint. What happens if you do take contact?
It's not very easy to then break and reform to put fire down that area.
Sorry, did you say it was easy or it wasn't easy?
It's not very easy.
Yep, good. So if you take contact from a certain direction, you only really have at most 1 or 2 eyes and guns in that direction, meaning that everybody else will not be in a position to assist with that. It will take time to reform the section to deal with that contact. Good. Okay, so That's basically.
Oops.
What do you say? Sorry, Rocky. No. Okay, it's fine. He's talking to
Yeah.
himself. Okay, so that is formations. Any questions on that before we wrap up this lesson? This little section.
Nope.
No. Cool. Right, let's get shooting some shit then.
Yeah.
Are we going to be doing any CQB or Obua or Fibua, whatever we're doing?
Not in phase 1, no.
Okay.
We do offer a CQB course, and we do sometimes do Fibua in section trainings. Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's go back over to the range, pick up some more ammunition, and we'll get doing some battle drills. Yeah, that's why I put these lights down. Yeah, I know. My brain's just so big. Right, can you do a quick read?
RPR?
Yeah.
Always make sure you have like 5 or 6 full mags in your kits. If you don't, grab some, collect 5 to 6. If you're ready, just go over and stand outside the shed here. Any spent mags, you can just load it to the boxes there. Make sure you don't have like random shit. Alright. Yep, you're good.
Yeah.
You're right there.
Alright then. Wherever you want, mate.
Righto, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
This next bit is RTR, or it is your reaction to combat, right? So return fire, take cover, return appropriate fire. That's what RTR stands for. The first bit, R, the first R, return RTR, return fire, is whenever you take contact, you'll shoot 2 or 3 rounds in the direction of which you believe you just took contact from. This is made just so the competition shuts down, and hopefully get their head down whilst you can shoot something out between time. This is, after you shot those 2 shots, you'll be taking cover. So you get the heads down, and then you get your head down and take cover. Then afterwards, you'll probably have an order. So a fire order that means that before the rapid fire and such, you'll get a fire order to say rapid fire of the direction which they are, so 6% or northeast. Which you'll just sit up again, and then you'll return fire. Any questions or...
Nope.
No.
Right. Oh, Scott,
Yes, mate.
do you want to give a quick demonstration of it? Or...
Yeah, can do.
Righto.
I will do it in this direction here so you can see it from side on.
Yep.
So, I'm going to propel forward and then Reese will shout contact front.
Contact front. Fire pace, whatever the name is. Right, good. All set on that one? Righto. Now it's your turn to try this out. If you'll just line up in a straight line, so we can be looking about 062.
Yep.
So baseline looking 062. You guys can spread out as well. Get like 10 meters between you.
I think you're all confused about who you're forming a baseline on.
Yeah, there you go, you're on line. You're on line. And if you just spread out a bit to the right there. Don't worry about Scott, he's not in line. There you go. And just bring this up to you. Alright, all on that, yes? Everyone's on that, yes?
Frequency 30.
Already? Right.
Ready?
Begin patrol direction 062. Yeah, go to walking pace.
How do I do that?
Control C.
Okay, everyone stop there and just come back, we'll restart that.
Yeah.
So weapons lowered, so double
User
tap left
disconnected
control.
from your channel.
Left control C to start walking.
Right, good. All that settled
Keep
out.
weapon lowered.
And patrol
Keep weapon
direction 062.
Lower your weapon, mate. Double tap left control.
Contact front. Section rapid fire front. Stop. Come back to where you went before.
Press the same button again to stop walking, there you go.
Righto. Just make a second of control, we're just going to fire control order. Switch to whatever it says. So rapid fire, 1 round every 2 seconds, rapid fire 1 round every 6 seconds. Alright. We'll just send you guys to do it again. Weapons, so you're on walk. So, double tap. So, lower your weapon. Thank you. Alright, I guess. Yep. Control direction 062.
Contact front. Section rapid fire front. Alright, stop.
So, that's it. Right, I good. So, session movement, this will be typically done in orders after Friday, you guys can open. This is done typically after you've done your RCR, you've taken a contact and then you're shot back. Then you're probably going to get called to do one of these moves. I will just go through them in order. So the first thing that you'll be having to know
is down. So there's two types. There's normal bounding, and then there's leapfrogging. They're both the same, a little different. First one, bounding, is you'll have one person, so one person on fire team move up, whilst one is covering, and then once they've reached a certain destination, they'll stop, and then call for the other fire team or other person to move up with them, and then move up alongside them. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, good. Scott, you want to give a check with me?
Can do. Okay, so we'd usually start this after we've taken contact. So we've done our RTR, we've taken cover, we're returning appropriate fire. Section Commander, or whoever is in charge, will then call for a bound forward, probably with a distance of both. So bounding forward, 50 metres, something like that.
Very good. Right, direction, that direction. Alright.
So I'll refer to myself as Charlie, Reese will be Delta. So we're taking contact from front. We're not going to bother with shooting, we're just bothered about the movement at the moment. So Charlie will cover, Delta, press move. Delta, move.
Ready? Covering. Charlie, prepare to move. Move. Set. Okay, stop, stop, stop.
Okay, so there's only C there. Any questions on the movement just done?
No.
So with bounding, you just keep repeating that, so one person moves, one person covers, and you'd always meet each other in line, so you're all in the same position. And one thing... Yeah, go for it.
Have you ever used question to start bounding every question system 15 meters and whatever that is? So where that question is how much you still need your steps and how much you need to bound.
Good question. Really good question. Yeah, one thing we forgot to cover was how far you run. So it's really hard to judge how far in terms of meters you've run. So the way we try and average it out is we say a phrase in our head as we're running. If you're the first person to move, what you'll say in your head as you're running is, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down. You'll say that exactly the same speed, just as normal, and that's how far you need to move. You say, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, and then as soon as you finish and say I'm down, you hit the floor. Does that make sense? So I'll just do a quick demonstration of that now. So I'll just do it from standing. I'm up, he sees me, I'm down.
Right.
That's how far you need to move. It's not a precise science, it's not exact, but it's rough. None of this is an exact science, it's just trying to, give you guys some common sense. Okay. Do you guys want to give that a go?
Oh, yeah.
You kind of.
Okay, Rocky, can you set yourself as blue? If you know how.
No.
Okay, that's fine. So, because you've nicely already organised yourself into some colours. Oh, I mean in your chat sector, if you know how to do that, Rocky.
No.
Okay, so self-interact, and then go to team management, and then join blue.
Right. Wait, please. Red.
That would be your control backslash, is what you said to.
You set your pressing Z.
This brings back memories.
Team management.
And then blue.
Right, good.
There you go, spot on. So, what fire team are the red people in? Do you remember back to when I went through that?
Alpha, I think.
Not quite.
We're
Bravo.
Blue is in fighting Delta.
So people who are set as
Charlie.
red are Charlie. That's it.
Yeah.
And the people who are blue, you are Delta. So when I call out Charlie, that'll be the people who are red. When I call out Delta, that will be the people in blue. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. Right, so we will do it in this direction here. So the ones that you were doing before. So everybody form a baseline on me, please. Can I get... I'd like it if you group together, so if I can get Charlie on my left and Delta on my right. There you go. Spot on. Okay, so everybody take the prone position, please. So we'll do this as if you've just done your RTR. Okay, so you've taken contact, you've returned fire, you've taken cover, and you are now returning your appropriate fire. The section commander has taken the decision to advance towards the enemy. I need you guys to make sure that you're going in a straight line, because there's a chance you'll start spreading out or bunching up. Because if you guys start doing that, you're going to fuck up your station. So, Rocky, can you push to the right a bit? 'Cause you're very close to Smith. You're basically on top of him. Okay, everybody could face bearing exactly east. So 090. Okay.
Set.
Right. Don't bother with shooting. We just want you to move. Right, listening. Delta will cover. Charlie, prepare to move. Charlie, move.
Charlie, set. Delta, prepare to move. Move.
Set.
Charlie, prepare to move. Charlie, move.
Charlie set.
Delta, prepare to move. Move.
Set.
Set.
Alright, stop there. Everybody stand up, but don't move.
We started off in a baseline. So look at each other. Look at each other and look where we've ended up. So things have gone a little bit wrong. Right? It's about teamwork. Staying with one cohesive unit here. So make sure you stay in your lane. Don't shift over to the sides, because then you'll fuck your space and then you'll end up with whatever the fuck's going on with Rocky and Smith. Right, so we'll try that one more time and then we'll move on. So, prone position, facing east, 090. Same order of march before. Spread out a bit, because you're literally sat on top of each other. There you go. Right. Delta, cover. Charlie, press move. Charlie, move.
Charlie set.
Delta, prepare to move. Delta, move.
Delta set.
Delta set.
Charlie, prepare to move. Charlie, move.
Charlie set.
Delta, prepare to move. Delta, move.
Set.
Set.
Okay, stop there. Stand up, don't move. Look at each other now, and look how much better that is. That's
Okay.
fucking spot on.
Well done, folks. Right, I'm not going to bother with leapfrogging.
You're not?
It's
No, no.
basically the same thing, but just a bit further. Yeah. Cool. Right, let's go back to the shack. Yep. Yeah. Right. If it's okay with you, Reese, we'll move over there so we've got a bit more space to do it.
That is fair enough, mate. You know what you've set up more than I do.
It's alright. So, come this way. Okay. So, just form a baseline on me. Stay as much as possible, just stay nice and quick together. Oh, okay, that'll do. Oh, fuck me. Okay, that'll do. That's
No, we
okay.
figured it
Just
out.
stay where you are. That's alright. That'll do. Okay, so, can everyone see me? Everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Spot on. Okay, so, next movement we're doing is peeling. So, it's like moving forward but not, except for moving side to side. The whole idea of these movements is that there's nobody moving without somebody covering first. Because if you're in the middle of contact, you want somebody to have your back. So, peeling can be done either one person at a time, or it can be done a whole section at a time. It can be nicely scaled up. But for this purpose, we're going to do it one person at a time. So, peeling is moving left to right. And the way we do this is we move, if we're moving right, the person on the left will be the one moving. Because they stand up, move around the back of the
User
section,
disconnected
and
from
join
your
in
channel.
at the end. So, for this example, I'll move over here. In fact, no, Reese, can you move to that side? Sort of join in on that side, and you will be the
User
one
joined
moving.
your channel.
So, just a quick walkthrough talk through. So Reese is on your right hand side, and we are going to be peeling left. What's going to happen is, what are the commands?
Section, peel left 50 meters, move.
Reese will then stand up, run past the man next to him. Okay. Yeah, said that at the wrong time. So,
As you can see, he has joined in at the next space at the end. He will then call out set. As soon as the next man hears the word set, he will then stand up and start moving. When you pass the first man, you will tell him last man. The reason why you do this is you are informing him he is now the last man on the far side. So, as Reese was moving, he should have said to Rocky, last man. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, Rocky, can you do the next movement after Reese? So, peel left. Set. Next man.
Set.
Milo moving Hardy, last man. Milo set.
Read that said. Not there. Okay, one thing to note, just as you're running past, make sure that you just tell the guy that you're running past that he's now the last man. Mainly because if you're in the middle of combat, he's probably not concentrating on you moving or keeping track of where you are. So just make sure you tell him, so that when he hears it called set, he knows he's the next one moving. You don't need to do it over the radio or anything, you can just say it locally and he should be able to hear you. Does that make sense?
User left
Okay,
your
we are
channel.
now going to peel to the right. And I'm going to do it without Reese demonstrating. Let's see how quickly you pick this up. So, section, peel right, 50 meters. Move.
We're then moving left one.
Read that side.
Milo moving Smith, last man.
Milo set.
The last one. Set.
Set. Not there. Well done.
Yeah, you guys have picked that up nice and quick. I don't really need to have you guys doing that anymore because it's really dead simple. Okay, so next thing we are doing is a section attack. Reese, take it away.
You've all learned how to do the what?
I don't think your count kicked in, mate.
Righto, is it kicked in now? Am I with you?
No, you can.
Righto.
No, you missed that again.
What?
Try the radio.
Righto, good then. Now that you've all learned how to do the manoeuvring and how to return fire and also all the fire control orders, you are basically set to do a section attack. Section attacks are a conglomeration of all the things, which is simply you'll take contact from an enemy at any direction, you'll do your RTR, then you will get an order to return fire, then you get an order to maneuver to the enemy, at which point you will take out the enemy by being at them. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Alright.
After this ARD is set, you have someone run around, ask how much equipment you have.
Just really quick, does anybody else have Reese cut out for them?
I did briefly.
Fucking, where did I cut out, mate?
At the beginning of the sentence.
Well, my
I think
yelling's
when you were
working now.
describing the sequence of events.
Alright, I'm yelling now. So that's for the start, yeah?
So we heard RTR, we heard fire control order, and then after that, we need
Righto,
to know
good.
what happens.
Yeah. You'll get your fire control order set, at which point you'll probably have your commander say a movement order. So your movement order probably toward the enemy. So say their enemy is on that hill to the south. You will have a bound up to the south, at which point you'll take out the enemy and you'll set up about 50 to 100 meters away from where the enemy's location was and set an ARD. At the ARD, you will have someone check around the entire ARD and see if everyone's good and supplies. That's basically what a section attack is set up on. All it is you gotta follow up in the orders. It's simple enough when you get a feel of it, right? Right. Are you all keen on trying that out?
Yeah.
Righto, good. It'll be the same thing, Blues Delta, Charlie's, Red's Charlie. So, if we can just have a baseline set up, yeah, in that direction, looking probably straight south. Keep it simple.
Reese, we'll swap
Yep.
over so you can be section command, I'll be QRC.
Roger.
Yep, if we all can also get a good spacing between us, keep it so you probably think that's about 10 meters. That's a good amount of spacing between us, that's what you want.
So the rule of thumb is roughly halfway between yourself, the next guy over, and the edge of the Jack card. So the guy next to you should be halfway between you and the edge. So if I move this way, about there, about 10-15 meters.
Righto, good. We all set up on it. Try and keep in line with the baseline here. Righto, good. Get your guns out, lower them, and be on a walking pace. Rog, section patrol, front. Contact front. Section rapid fire south behind the hill. Section deliberate fire south behind the hill.
Reloading.
Section will be bounding. Charlie will bound first. Delta cover. Charlie bound. Charlie set. Delta prepare to move.
Moving.
Yeah, Delta move.
Set.
Right, good. Charlie prepare to move. Charlie move. Charlie hold. Rog, contacts eliminated. Delta move up on Charlie.
Roger.
Set.
Rog, section, move straight 50 meters.
Moving.
Get on a slow jogging pace if you can.
I was just about for walking here.
Control C. Right, section hold. Section, set up an ARD.
Scott watching east.
Milo, watch yourself.
Rotating west.
Scott, can you give me support?
Roger.
And look east. Look east now. Scott's doing low support.
I'm looking north.
Looking east.
Hey, what? Okay, so during this time, the two I've seen will come and will ask for a late report from you. It's assessing how you were doing on liquid, ammo, casualties and equipment. So if you've got all of it, you'll say green. If you're missing half of it, you'll say yellow. If you're really low on it, you'll say red. If you've got none of it, you'll say black. So if you've got all your food and water, you're green on it. If you're injured, you might say yellow, stuff like that. So trying to support those support, just give me a colour. Yeah. So those support.
Water, yellow, red, yellow.
And then equipment will be that same as so yeah. I think. Have you heard of a lace report before?
Oh, someone just passed out. Ryder passed out.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so a lace report is basically a 2IC will come over and ask you for a lace report. It's an acronym that comes from liquid, ammo, casualties and equipment. You're telling me how you're doing for your supplies and injuries. So using the traffic light system, so if you're good on food and water, that's a liquid. If you're good on ammo, if you're good on casualties, if you're good on equipment, all that gubbins. So, right, for lace report, just give me a colour.
Green.
Thank you.
Please continue looking north. Yeah, continue looking north.
Right, stop. You can all gather out. Collapse in on the middle.
If you follow the structure, you'll find your way to us quite easily.
Roger. Yeah, that's some of this is some of the time. There are other ways to do it, whereas Delta will just stay remain behind covering, while Charlie's the only one moving up. This way, so we all get to moving, everything is all combined into one neat thing. One thing that you just had to learn there was bicycle. Hopefully it was all nice and simple.
Seems clear.
Roger. Anyone got any questions?
No.
Oh, not for me.
Right, Scott, you happy to move on?
Absolutely. Let's do some target indications. Come with me, folks.
How much is left?
Not much more, mate.
Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Cool. So, target indications. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's just basically saying an indication of where a target is. So, target can both mean can mean both a friendly or an enemy. We mostly use it for an enemy, but you can also use it for other things that you've seen. So, a target indication might sound like something like contact, 1 times infantry, 200 metres, by the White House, in the rear left corner, just right of the tree stump. That is what we like to call a full target indication. So it's got loads and loads of information to try and get people onto what you're looking at, because sometimes it can be hard to describe what you're looking at. So, let's break that down. First thing you say is contact. You need to alert the section as to what it is that you've seen, or the fact that you're about to give a target indication. Next, if you can, tell them what it is you're
User
looking at.
disconnected from your channel.
It drives me up the wall when people just say the word contact and expect that to be all the information we need to know. We need to know way more than that. Because if you say the word contact and nothing
User
else,
joined your
that can
channel.
mean either a farmer with an AK, or it can mean a fucking tank that's turned up. So, if you say contact, try and give a rough idea as to what it is we're looking at. So, if it's loads of guys, or a single dude, or a tank, just a rough idea. I'm not expecting specifics. It's just I need to know how urgent the issue is. Next, the range is quite helpful as well, because it also gives us an idea of how immediate the threat is, in the sense that if it's contact 10 meters, then that means they're literally within hugging distance. But if it's contact 500 meters, that means we have a bit of time to try and either avoid the enemy or get a strategy in place to deal with it. And then from there, reference points. Reference points are stuff like landmarks that can draw our attention to where the enemy is. So, say for instance, if I were to put an enemy, 1 second, I need to put an enemy down that isn't going to shoot at us. Okay. Let's see. Contact, 1 times infantry, bearing 327, 100 metres, centre of the sandbag wall. So, what I've just done there is I've given the alert, I've told everyone what it is, roughly where it is in terms of range, and then I've given some reference points as well. Because if everybody can see the big sandbag wall, then they can definitely see the centre of it. So everybody will start looking for the centre of this sandbag wall, and that will get everyone's attention. Because bearings alone are not very good. Because if everyone's spread out over 100 metres, bearing, whatever bearing that is, so bearing 327, will be different to somebody stood over there to where I'm stood now. Because bearing 327 might be somewhere in that forest to the right. Whereas bearing 327 for me is the centre of that sandbag wall. That's what the indicators are for.
I'll be right back.
Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. Right, let's have a go at some of these. And then once we've done that, we'll be moving on to the section battle drills. And that'll be the last thing that we do tonight. Cool. Right. Friday, can you give me a target indication for that guy that I've just put next to that brick, that stone wall that I am looking at now? There.
Alright. Contact 1 times infantry, bearing 341, between two brick walls. 200 meters.
Yep, good. Not bad.
200.
That's okay.
150,
We're not expecting laser accuracy, especially if you don't have a rangefinder. The range is actually a bit under 100 meters, but like I said, the main thing to understand is that it's not somebody on top of us, or it's not somebody 2,000 meters away. As long as you give a rough area, that's all that matters. Good. Okay. Milo, can you give a target indication for gentleman there? Yep. Good. So use the specifics of closest to. Not bad, because if you're looking at the forest, if you're in a forest and you say hide a tree, that's a bit fucking useless. But he's singled it out. You can also say hide a lone tree, so it's sort of a tree on its own, not surrounded by very many others. So that could also work. Okay, good. Rocky, and you do that one there.
Enemy east bearing 088 in front of a fence, approximately 75 centimeters.
Okay, yeah, not bad. What? No, it's all right. So, actually, that wasn't that bad. So, just make sure you say contact. But yeah, that also enemy also works.
But we weren't contacted though.
I see what you mean. But contact is usually an enemy, or another way of saying there's a dude with a gun.
Alright.
The range, was pretty accurate. I like that. I'm not too sure about using the fence as the indicator, because there's a lot of fence around here. So I would have used the house. That house looks pretty unique, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I would have said, in front of the base house or something like that, and that probably would have helped. But yeah, not bad. That's something you can work on.